Mhm. Hello, hello, ladies. Come on in. Lots and lots of friends this evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's go ahead and get started. It is 7 o'clock after all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Tuesday evening Facebook Live with the Wexford Stamper. This is Barb Reed, the Wexford Stamper, and today we are continuing my series on the 5 weeks of Halloween. And today is week number 4, and we are going to make this cute little gum treat box holder. So fun. It has a little belly band here. We open up the box, and then it has this nice big extra large size of gum. This is a great gift for someone who's not a big chocolate person. Can't imagine what that's like, but I know there's some out there. But so we're going to be making this. This is pretty quick and easy, really, really fun to make. This isn't a difficult treat to find. These you can find in any grocery store. They're in 3 packs. And I got the bubble gum for this evening, but they've got all different kinds. It's just the packs, the larger packs that have the 15 sticks. They're still pretty thin. They're not like the old kind that had the 15 sticks. They're a little thinner, but they're in every grocery store in the candy aisle. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm enjoying the fall weather we've been having for a little while. So, all right, as a reminder, there will be a PDF download, my brain, PDF download on my blog following the live this evening. You can always download that if you'd like to have a card copy with all the directions. So that means you don't have to be worrying about getting directions. I know. I won't tell her. I don't know who they are, but I've just heard they're out there. So, you will not have to worry about jotting down directions. You can just go right to my blog, and it's all there. Now, just as I have for the first 3 projects, I'm using items from the Cute Halloween Suite. And today we're going to really be focusing on the adorable paper. This paper is a 6x6 and has really cute Halloween images. And then on the reverse, there is some more neutral type patterns that can be used for maybe different fall projects, not necessarily for Halloween. So that's great. I've really, really love my paper, been using it like crazy. And also the Cute Halloween stamp set. This is a photopolymer set. Tonight, I'm just going to be using the Hey Boo sentiment, but really, really cute images if you want to make some cats and skulls and ghosts and pumpkins. Really, really great. Not a scary set. I don't like when they're super scary because I'm making them for kids after all. And then, of course, there is the cute little coordinating punch that you can punch out the images that you stamp, or you can punch them straight out of your paper. So either way, that punch works. I won't be using that this evening because the image that I am punching out, that I'm using, will have to fussy cut. But I don't mind fussy cutting. And remember, all the information for this project this evening and the downloadable PDF will be on my blog at thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. All right, so here we are. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got my crew back. All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is a real quick one. Not hard at all. All right, we're going to start with a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, and it's cut at 3.5 by 9. Okay, I'm going to bring in my scoring board, and on the short side, I'm going to score at 3 from both sides. So there's 3 from there, oops, and 3 here. And this is a trick that I've just kind of just learned. I used to try to get really, really close and score at the 1/2 inch. And sometimes it's a little harder to stay in the groove when you're so close to the edge. So just kind of going to the other side instead and going with the 3 and then turning it at 3. You're still going to get those 2 1/2 inches on both sides, but it's a better way, more foolproof. You might not jump out of that little channel. All right, now we're on the long side and we're going to go at 3, 3.5, 6 5/8, 7 1/8. That's it. All right, all those numbers will be on the blog and also on the PDF if you'd like to download that. All right, I'm going to grab my bone folder and now I'm going to go ahead and crease on all those score lines. All right, there we go. There's 4, and now let's do the long ones at the 1/2 inch. All right. This one doesn't really involve the normal amount of cutting that we have for a box, which is always a good thing if you've got to whip these up really fast. These come together nice and quickly. Let me grab the template for you to show you what we're going to do here. We're not going to really be making the flaps. We're actually going to be cutting them out. All right. So right here at the front where you have your shorter section here, this is going to be the part that flaps over. Let me take this off here for a minute. Okay, so the shorter front panel here is going to be your flap that flaps over to close up your box. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your snips and you're going to totally cut all the way up that 1/2 inch score line through to the second horizontal score line. Okay, so you're going to cut through one horizontal to a second one, right up that 1/2 inch score line on both sides. Okay, so here, I'll show you right beside the one I have here. All right, so that's what we have so far. Now, instead of making these little flaps here, like we do usually for a box, we're just gonna cut them out. So I'm gonna cut up both of these. Okay, then I'm just gonna fold back this panel here and just cut that right off. Okay, same thing here. Just fold back the panel, get it out of the way so I can cut that little flap off. So you're not really used to doing that, cutting those off. We usually just wedge them down and keep them, but for this box, we don't even need them. All right? Okay, now, before we go ahead and assemble our box, you know I like to put my Designer Series paper on first. Okay, so the paper we're going to use here is a little different from my sample. I'm going to be using the orange and black stripe, and that's going to go on the body of the box, right up here. And then I'm going to use the little skeleton print, and that's going to be on the flap. So if you think about where your box is, it's going to close up like this, and then this flap is going to go over. Okay, so you want to put your skeleton piece here and your stripe piece here. So that's going to go skeleton here, striped here. So you want to leave this middle section plain, or you can put another stripe piece there. Whatever you like. All right, now before we do that, I like to round the corners of the flap here, just because I think it looks a little nicer. So I'm going to bring in my trio punch, and I'm going to cut that, round those, and then of course I'm going to have to round my piece of Designer Series paper here just on the front corners. So they go with our box. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my Tombow. And we're going to go ahead and adhere that right to the flap. Now for this flap, it's on the side. I'm using it kind of on the side of the box instead of the top. You could do it top as well, okay? But then you'd want to make sure that your paper was oriented differently. I'm going to have mine like this. Belly band goes on this way, but you certainly could do it this way as well. Works both ways. Whatever you like. Remember, it's your project. You do it. You do you. All right, so there is the flap with the little skeletons on. Now I'm going to go way to the back here, remember? And we're going to go ahead and put this black and orange, basic black and pumpkin pie, not black and orange, piece of Designer Series paper. And the dimensions for both of those pieces are on my blog and in the PDF. All right, now last thing we do before we assemble, I'm going to take a 3/4 inch circle punch, and you notice I have a little notch out of there. The reason I do that is make it easier to get the pack of gum out. If you don't have that there, the person's gonna kind of dig in there to get it out and it could tear it. So I just feel like it's a better way to help kind of preserve the box that you worked on to give to your recipient. So you're just gonna go in maybe 1/4 of the way and just eyeball it close enough to the middle, and then you're gonna take that little notch out of there. Okay, so that's all the cutting, and there will be the template will be on the PDF and on the blog as well, just to give you a refresher on how that goes together. Now, I also recommend that you use the pack of gum to help you when you're assembling the box, just to have that inside, because it's really hard to get your fingers inside this box to hold it together. So what I'm recommending you do is you're going to lay your gum right inside there, and then we're going to put some adhesive on these 2 places, and then we're going to fold it over and hold it. And with the gum in there, you've got something for that you can kind of push on to keep the box together. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of glue, just because I know some of you aren't real fans of the wet glue, this is a great place to also use tear and tape. Okay, so I'm going to put the tear and tape on this section, the one that has the little notch, because when you close it, then you're going to have the fold showing here. And that's a little cleaner than if you would have it this way and put it on that one. You're going to have the, you're going to be able to see the edge of the paper there. That's just a preference, makes the box look a little better. Okay, so I'm going to slide my gum in. Oh, I can smell this gum. This bubble gum smells great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let me get my, I'm going to get my pick tool because my pick fingernails are not doing the trick here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing for my tear and tape. And we're going to close up the box. And that's how quickly the box comes together. So we're going to make sure it's in the right spot. We're going to bring up the 2 back sides, close the box, and then just bring those down. And that got closed a little too early. I'm going to open that one up again and then try again. There we go. Well, you want to make sure that your edges are lining up. There we go. Better, better. There we go. All right. So there you have the box, completely finished. That's how fast that is. And then you have your opening and you have your little notch, and you can get your gum out very easily. So that's how quick that box comes together. All right, now let's talk about the belly band. Okay, we're going to take a 1/4 inch strip of basic black cardstock. Okay, And this is actually going to go around the largest part of the box, unless you want to go this way with it. You could probably still go, I would still go with the larger and just have this piece of paper here oriented the other way. Thank you, Joanne. It's a nice design and it's super simple. That's what I like, because when you got to make lots of these, you want it to be something that's easy. And I think this is a great adult gift because lots of adults like to have gum around. I'm a gum chewer, so. All right, so I'm just gonna fold this around and get an idea of just where I want it and kind of pinch on all those folded sides. Then I'm gonna take the box away. I'm gonna grab my bone folder and go back and give those folds that I made an extra good crease, just so when they slide on and off your box, it's gonna work very easily. It's hard to try to score your belly band just because every box is a little bit a different size. So I find it easiest just to take your strip of paper, go around it, and get your kind of preliminary folds, and then take it off and give it a good score. And then it really, really will work best for your box. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna put this back on now. See how nicely that fits on? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue right there on my belly band. Be careful not to get any of the glue on the box or the belly band won't come off. That's right, simple is good. Simple is good. I do like a lot of simple. I try to keep these designs pretty simple. All right, just gonna hold it for a second, and there we have it. Our belly band is ready to go. Remember, you don't want it to be too tight. You want to make sure that it can slide up and down. All right, are we ready to make our embellishment? Okay, I'm going to use this little label. This is from the Hippo dies, one of my favorite sets. It featured hippos and unicorns and butterflies, but it also had some amazingly beautiful and really, really useful dies. And this was one of them. And this was one that had 3 of the same die, just in one bigger than the other. This is the smallest one. Okay, so I'm using the smallest one of the, I call it the curved, I don't know, curved label die. That's what I'm thinking will work for me tonight. And I'm gonna take some of the black Memento ink and we're gonna stamp the Hey Boo on here. And I'm gonna try my best to get it towards the bottom so we have a good bit of space at top for our little skeleton image. I'm gonna put a skeleton on this one instead of the little ghost here. Now this was fussy cut. This one doesn't work with the punch. That's one thing with the punch. There's only one of the ghost images from the paper that it can punch out. So fussy cutting this paper does not take long, and they're very simple images to cut out. So we're going to be going with another one that we have to fussy cut. All right, now I'm going to grab the one that I did fussy cut, and this one I cut out of the paper, the little skeleton paper. Even though they're skeletons, they're not really scary skeletons. So I didn't think that was too bad. So what I cut out was this cute little skeleton with the little raven on its head. I thought he was so cute. Okay, and maybe he's the one that's saying, hey Boo, get off my head. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, after I fussy cut that out, I'm gonna go ahead and put a dimensional on the back, and I'm going to put that right on my little label. Okay, Now we're going to go back to our box, and I'm going to take 2 dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right at the center here, very close together. They are going to be behind the label, and having 2 here is a good idea because this is going to get pulled and pushed on when we're opening and closing our box. There we go. So there is our cute little gum box. Isn't that so cute? And there's so many different images on this paper that you could use to make these, and they come together very quickly. Right now it's only 20 minutes and I'm all finished, and I think they're super cute for Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Don't forget the PDF will be on my blog if you'd like to download that. If you do make any of these, please post them on my VIP page so I can see what you guys are up to. So take care. We've got 1 more week of Halloween to do, and that is going to be a mini M&M canister box. Those little canisters of mini M&Ms. We're going to make a little milk carton style box for those. So that'll be super cute. So if you have any questions or any comments, please let me know. And I hope to see you next Tuesday for our last Halloween tutorial. Take care, and I will see you next week. Happy stamping!